Hi, this is Kyla from Hidden Gems Literary Emporium. Here we have Dante.
Dontae T. Muse, above our studios, author, entrepreneur, and artist coach.
I stuttered because he goes by many names,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I'm still learning how to introduce you depending on who I'm talking to.
Yeah, they say all the greats go by many names.
Okay, what are your many names?
Well, it depends on what capacity me has, but we're going to go with Dante for the sake of this interview.
Okay, so Dante is one of the two co-owners of Above Our Studios, the art gallery that we are inside of, and the author of this book, Tripping Over Canvases: How to Become a Successful Entrepreneur.
Artreprenuer.
Artreprenuer. How do you spell that?
Artreprener. So you have entrepreneur, you just take the EN out and you put ARN.
Okay, and obviously an entrepreneur is someone who is trying to create longevity through the business of creating art, whatever that might be.
It's an art entrepreneur.
Okay. And so how long have you been an artpreneur?
Um, Kind of off and on, my whole 100 years on this earth. But full time, I would say the last about 5 years.
Okay. And so was that something that you like one day you just woke up and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur? Or was it something that you just gradually kind of got flowed into?
It just happened. Getting different, inspired moves to make, and just following passion. Listening to intuition, and ended up here. Yeah, it definitely wasn't planned initially.
Okay. And so you have a couple books out. Is this the first one or the second one?
This is the second one, third one on the way.
Okay. So, and the first one is called.
First one is called, this is a series. It is called Tripping Over Canvases: How to Open Your Own Art Gallery with No Prior Experience.
Yes. And so, and why did you decide to do that one first and this one second?
Um, at the time, I was in the space of just having opened in a gallery a couple of years prior to, and was getting questions about it, and I really wanted to move on um, to other niches in helping artists, and I wanted to capsulate the information. So I put that there so I can move on to other information.
Okay. Quick question about that, and then I want to talk about this book. So, what made you decide to open an art gallery of all things?
Um, I actually had decided to open a performance space and recording studio, and the universe decided that I should have an art gallery instead. Um, so we ended up in the process of going to open, running into like a brother of ours who's an artist who was looking to open an art gallery. So we decided to kind of switch our plans up a little bit and open a gallery. He since then decided to move on to other endeavors, but we went full steam ahead, with opening the gallery. So um, at that time, I had to educate myself on a lot of things in the art world, and because my focus before that wasn't on art, I had picked up a lot of skill sets from other walks of life that I was then able to transfer into the art world, to achieve success and be able to teach our other artists how to achieve success, because these are things that they haven't been taught, they weren't thinking about, of course, because that's not in the same line, which should be,
Yes.
but for the most part, it isn't. Do have to credit a couple of like universities, including like actual business into their, like the MFA program and stuff like that. But for the most part, artists come out of school not knowing how to actually, make a living as an artist,
Mm-hmm.
which is a problem, which means you have to go and get, a different job, or hopefully they can at least teach to try to stay in their field, but that's not always the case as well too. So sustainability as independent artist is important. I started in music, and as a musician and managing musicians and artists on the music end, and now I'm transferring that over to the visual artist. And so it's all coming together, and I continue to put the information in these books. So this is the second one right now. Um, Tripping Over Canvases: How to Become a Successful Entrepreneur. The third one will be out actually soon. It'll touch down. You can have it in your hands within a month. That's going to be Tripping Over Canvases: How to Become a Successful, How to Curate Your Way to Success. Excuse me. How to Curate Your Way to Success, and that's going to touch on. So we did like the administrative end coming into it, whether you're an artist and an administrator, and an artist administrator, I say for myself, because I'm both an artist and I do the administration. So, or you're just an independent artist, the second book is definitely for you. And then if you happen to be out of either one of those, you don't have your own space, or you do have your own space, or you don't do your own art, or you do your own art, but you want to curate your space or different spaces with your work or other people's work or any combination of, the third one's going to be for you.
So there's something for everyone, depending on what stage you're at.
Or what you want to be into, and in the moment you kind of need all three really to have the package. But depending on where you're at, you might want to start with one and then make your way to the other two. But I recommend you pick up the triptych. We're gonna name it just like it's some art, because it is. So if you want to get your art business straight, make sure you pick up the Tripping Over Canvases series.
They call it literary arts.
Yes.
Because it is an art, right?
Yes.
This cover is really pretty. How did you design this cover, or where did it come from?
I designed it. Yeah. I happen to do a little graphic design as well. So
Artist administrator.
yeah, I'm an artist.
And when you're an entrepreneur, a lot of times you have to do everything yourself, unless you have a team or people around you, or if you have a budget to pay people.
Yeah, and there's clever ways to work things, but yeah, things are gonna need to get done. Somebody gotta do them. So,
how much do you sleep?
not as much as I need to at all. I actually fight sleep. I don't know what it is. I like to be sleep, want some sleep, but I be fighting sleep, so I don't get a lot of rest. Even when I know, be like, oh, take a nap, my mind to make me do something else. And then,
I feel like a lot of artists don't sleep much because we're either up doing administrative stuff or up thinking, like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that right now. And, paint or write or something like that. But rest is important.
it is.
Okay, so this book, Tripping Over Canvases, is on display here at Hidden Gems, and they're all autographed. So thank you for that. Workwithdmuse.com. What happens when we go to that website?
When you go to workwithdmuse.com, there's actually an exclusive free training there on helping you to start on your path to monetize your creativity. So go there, it'll allow you to see the video, you'll learn some things from the video, and at the end, it'll give you an option to schedule a call with me to see ultimately if we'll be a good fit, to work together. I don't want to be, aggravated. I want you to be frustrated. So we need to make sure, we can work things out. We'll talk. I can give you, some strategy right on the call and see if we can be a good fit, and to go from there. I do have a 6-week course where we meet once a week for 2 hours for the 6 weeks, and then you have, follow-up strategy calls with me for 6 months after that, actually once a month. We'll jump on a call and just, tweak whatever we need to tweet, any new things that you're thinking of, you want to do, or any new opportunities that come up that, I can make you privy to. We go over all that as well too. So you have that option to schedule that at the end of watching that video.
So you wear many hats. You're an owner and an author, an artist, because you also paint, right?
Paint, all right.
What else do? You mentor and
I
teach.
do.
You're an educator.
Yes.
You're also a speaker. You do talks.
Yes, I do.
How many hats do you wear?
Have merchandise.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Yes. When you go to IMD Muse, which is first initial last name, imdmuse.com, you can actually get your pay to artist apparel, so you can wear how you feel on your body. It's especially important for the introverts. You don't have to say nothing. They already
Right.
know what it is. You see pay to artist on
When
there.
you don't want to say it, but you do,
That's-
but you don't.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
we got the t-shirts, we got the hoodies out right now. The hoodies are hot. Go grab your pay to artist hoodie. And we got the just dropped the clean bottom socks. So clean bottom because from the ankle up the sock is white, and then from the ankle down the sock is black. So you can't,
really?
yeah. So you can't tell that you've had the sock.
That's actually
You had the sock for a while. So the sock will last you longer. So I could be called clean bottom socks, and they say pay the artist on them as well too. So make sure you grab the pay artist clean bottom socks to go with your new hoodie when you cop that.
That's actually really funny. I'm always telling Dontae that he should also be a stand-up comedian. If anybody comes to an Above Our Studios event and sees him host, you'll feel the stand-up vibe. I know it's not just me. It can't be just me. I know you heard that before. You have.
We just kicking.
Okay. I want to flip open to a page in this book and just read something that pops to my mind, and so we can talk about it.
So,
Okay, I flipped open to page 23. Okay, so this is part of the chapter called Market Madness. Marketing is madness. Okay, so the chapter that caught my eye the paragraph, I'm on page 23. Social media and the internet have made it easier to find people that have similar interests to you. We are now able to connect with people with like minds and or tastes that may be thousands of miles away from our physical location and not have that distance be a definite hindrance. The word local can now mean a different thing than it did a decade ago. It can now refer to people we have ready access to despite logistics. Once we have become acquainted with someone, they can now be a part of our local art community. That is the absolute truth. It's almost as though everyone in every organization is accessible. Pretty much. Tell us about an experience that you've had on social media where someone reached out to you and it was a situation where you wouldn't expect to connect with this person, or maybe they were far away, or it was just kind of bizarre how they found you on social media. Do you have an experience like that?
I connect with people from far away. Like someone, I just recently had a strategy call with someone, a Jamaican woman who lives in Japan.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's out there working. She's an artist. So she booked a strategy call with me, which you can also book on to imdmuse.com. So we had a great session, and I set up with a strategy and, sent off on the way to go make more money with art. She found me through Clubhouse, actually.
Wow.
And then, followed me over to Instagram from there, researched my stuff and went to, she went to workwithdmuse.com, saw the video and all that, and then scheduled a call.
She really must have found value in whatever you were saying on Clubhouse, because she went through the whole click. She did like 3 or 4 clicks to get to where she needed to go.
Yeah, is, one of my platforms I focus on. I recommend everyone focus on too, so they don't get overwhelmed. And then, there's ways to connect to where you can trickle over to the other ones, but if you get to them, you get to them. You focus on you too, so you can be effective. And Clubhouse is one of mine. So Clubhouse and IG, you do that. You choose them by value and engagement.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is for adding and receiving value. The other one will be for, engaging with people. In the Clubhouse, you can engage with people because it's real time conversation. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot easier to talk to someone like I'm talking now, give them the information, and then they're like, oh, I like what you're saying, and then they follow you over there so they can connect with you, stay, make sure they can get you whenever they want.
Yeah.
Versus, they might have just stumbled across you first time.
I was going to ask you that because a lot of people, especially authors that we work with, they feel pressure to be on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and everything. But I find it to be overwhelming. Like you said, focusing on two platforms where you get the most engagement or the most reception. That's what we do. So we have a Facebook and an Instagram page, which I love because they're connected, and a lot of times you only have to post once and it goes to several places. And of course, we're on YouTube where we post our interviews and things like that. But TikTok seems like a lot. We have a Twitter, but we don't use it just because it's too much. It's easy to get overwhelmed. Market madness, as you said. Um, okay, so I'm gonna ask you one more question, and then we're gonna wrap up. The last question is, okay, two more questions. He knows I'll have a lot of questions. He's like, I know you got more questions than one. Okay. One more. Okay, one question about Boulevard Studios, right? You guys have been here for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You celebrate 5 years in November, right?
Yeah, 13th. Gonna have the anniversary.
Okay. Only Black-owned art gallery in New Brunswick.
Yes.
Okay. How did you choose New Brunswick, or did New Brunswick choose you?
Yeah, New Brunswick. Just like the idea of having an art gallery. Period.
Okay.
Caught us. But it ended up working out great. We definitely would have had different experiences being anywhere else than where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
North would have been great, of course, but there's a lot of other things going on over there. I feel like New Brunswick needed it more.
I agree.
Versus being up there with things kind of already happening.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're down here, making it happen.
Mm-hmm. So there was a need in the community, and you guys are fulfilling that need.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Last question. Let's say, well, this isn't even hypothetical because I'm sure this happens all the time. You meet an artist and they're really good, but they don't have a lot of confidence, mainly because they're not making money. They don't have money right now to invest into maybe marketing or advertising or merchandise or things like that. But they really want to get their name out there. Another part of the problem is that they aren't getting paid for shows and showings and things that they're doing now. So they feel a little discouraged. And they call you on the phone and they say, what do I do? What would you say? Briefly.
Hire me.
Ah!
That's as short as I can say. 2 words, that's all it takes. Hire me. You want it like that. But ultimately, I teach these things, so I do have courses, I do have workshops as well. If you can't, for the full experience, I have books like you.
Yeah.
$20 can make it 200 without blinking. Like buy the book is $20. Like learn something.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta invest something.
Yeah.
Into yourself.
What you're doing.
You know what I mean? So it's at the very least, but let's say somehow you heard this advice, but have no way to get in contact with me or find any of my books anyway, and I want to add some value to you. I would say get yourself in front of as many people as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Even if your messaging is all over the place, be consistent with your message. Um, see who's responding to you, and then ask them who do they know that's like them,
Right.
and go from there.
Be present and communicate, and don't be afraid to talk to people, because that's when opportunities arise, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your time today.
Got it.
And please, everyone, go on. Well, you have a few websites. Workwithdmuse.com if you're interested in the classes. If you're interested in the merchandise, they should go to.
I am the Muse.
Okay. And if you want to buy a copy of this book, of course, you can come in here, 553 Morris Street in New Brunswick, New Jersey. You can also buy it online.
You can get it at I am the Muse.
I am the Muse. It's getting cold on the East Coast, so make sure you get, what are they called? Cleanless socks?
Yeah, yeah. Make sure you get those clean bottom socks.
Clean bottom socks.
Clean bottom socks to go with your hoodie. You know, pay the artist hoodie and the clean bottom socks. You know, take a picture of when you post it on your social media, tag me at I am the Muse, and you know, I make sure I repost that up somewhere so you know everybody can see you in your glory.
And your socks all clean and whatnot.
You know,
Thank you.
got it. Thank you.
Clean bottom